Hi, I'm Beth. This is Summer, and we are Chic Crochet. So today we are reviewing the viral Sunny Top. It is a crochet pattern by CLA Crochet. CLA Crochet, and she has an Etsy shop. I see her on Instagram and other places. She's this beautiful Italian designer. Everything that I see of hers, I just love. But this top is the one that has been sticking in my mind for the longest time, and I'm so excited that I finally made it. It was really fun. I think it's going to be a piece that I end up wearing all summer and maybe into other seasons because I find it to be very versatile. You can put long sleeves under it. You could put a tank top under it. You could put a sweater under it. Layer it however you like. It also could be used as a beach cover up, I'm sure, although I may not wear it that way. I don't want to get this shape of tan lines on my skin, but if it were shady outside and I were wearing a bathing suit, I certainly would wear it that way. But if you're like me, you may have been seeing this top around for a while on social media, but you're just not quite sure if you want to invest in it. The pattern is a little bit of an investment, but I'm going to tell you right up front, I think it's worth every penny. I think I will make this pattern more than once, but not only do I have this beautiful piece that I can wear on the end, but it taught me a lot about the two-panel top, and I think I can come up with my own designs just by having made this one with using the same two-panel design but different stitches. I've taken the top off to show you the construction. So it is literally just two panels stitched together. And there is a little bit of differentiation in the neck. You do go up a few extra rows on each side of the neck, but it's very simple in the pattern, very simple. And then she has you just stitch the sleeves together on either side after you've made this mesh stitch like that. Here's where you stitch it together on the sides. And then there is also stitching at the bottom where you join the bottom of the sleeves, but you don't go very far. You only, on mine, I did 6 shells on each side. And my top is 24 shells across. So each panel is 24 shells across, and it's 13 shells this way. 24 this direction, 13 this direction, plus your mesh stitch at the top, and we'll talk more about that. So it has a wide opening at the bottom and a more narrow opening at the neck, whatever width of the neck that you would like, and it just goes on like this. Excuse me if I make noise on my microphone. We'll move the mic to the outside. There we go. So yeah, what do you think? It hangs really nice. It's very easy to wear. You can put it up on your shoulders. You could leave it off the shoulders, do one shoulder. You could make your neck more narrow if you want it more closed at the top. I like mine kind of wide. I'm not sure if I will leave it this way. I have steamed it, which did make it larger, and I'm just going to see how it goes. I'm not sure if it is 100% cotton. Not sure if it might shrink up a little bit as I wear it, or will it get bigger, or will it stay the same? I don't know. So if it were to stretch out more, I may go back in and close the neck up a little more, but I just love it. I'm very impressed with the pattern, very impressed with how it turned out. I think I will be wearing this a lot. I have a feeling I'm going to get requests for it from family and friends. Probably not going to make it for family and friends, but I'm sure they're going to ask. Let's talk some more specifics about the pattern, because you may want to know a little bit more about the pattern before you invest in buying it from Etsy. The skills you will need in this pattern are chain stitch, slip stitch, single crochet, half double crochet, skipping stitches, and how to leave a chain space, and that is literally it. It's very simple, and she gives such excellent instructions. The pattern is very detailed. It comes in Italian, that's the first language, and then as you scroll down to the bottom of the pattern, it's in English, and she does use US terms. So I found it to be very simple. She suggested that you use sport weight yarn and a 5mm hook. That is exactly what I did. When I see her social media, this is the color I see her make this top in the most. I think I've seen it in a lighter, like creamy white color, and then I've seen her wear it in this. I very much wanted my top to look just like hers, the one I see her model in the most, so that is why I chose this yarn. And I bought this yarn from Amazon. I was having trouble just walking into a store and finding a good sport weight cotton, so I was just trying to find an economical solution, and I ordered it from Amazon in case I didn't like it, that it would be easy to return. But I really loved it, and it has kind of a generic label. It's just called Pure Cotton Yarn, handmade, DIY, eco-friendly. Those are some of the things it says on the label, and the label looks like this. There are 50 grams in each ball. So there were 6 in this, and I bought 2 of them. So I used all of this one, everything that was in this one, and then I caked up some of the ones that were in this one, and I ended up using only a tiny bit out of this one. So this is a full skein that I haven't used yet, and then I used a little bit out of this one. So that's 6 total. Out of this ball, I only used 13 grams. So it took me a total of 613 grams. I'm not quite petite, but I'm not sure if I'm considered average height. I am about 5'4". I do have really long arms. I have a short torso and long limbs. This 24 shell across seems to be just perfect. I'm really happy with that length. The only thing I might change is if the neck stretches out more, I may go back in, like I said, and tighten this neck up a little bit. About this yarn, I talked about it a couple of videos ago, but in case you didn't see that, it is really very comfortable. I wouldn't say it's one of the softest yarns I've ever used or felt, but it's comfortable, and it's not stiff like that peaches and cream or the kind that you make dishcloths out of. It's a lot softer than that, and it is one of the most non-splitty yarns I have ever used in my life. So I read the reviews, and some people left reviews that this yarn was very splitty. That didn't happen to me, so I'm really not sure. Like I said, I used the 5mm hook. It may be because I used a larger hook that it wasn't splitty. I don't know, but I literally had it split one time, and that one time was when I had frogged, and I had gone back and reused the yarn that I had just frogged, and I had one split, and I believe that was why, because when you repeatedly frog something over and over, the yarn will kind of untwist. And other than that, I had 0 splits. It was kind of shocking because I've never had that happen before. I find that almost every yarn that I use splits at one point or another. The other thing is, out of this entire package, the first package that I used, I had 1 factory knot out of the entire thing, and it was out of the very first skein, and that was it. I thought this might be a bad sign because I think it was pretty quick into that skein, but that was it. That was the only factory knot. Did not come across another one, so I was pretty impressed by that. So I'm crocheting with this 5mm hook here just to show you that I did not have any splitting at all. I'm going to grab a smaller hook just to make sure. So let me try a smaller hook and see what happens. This is a 2.75. These are Clover and More. It's still not splitting at all. So not sure why that one person left that review that it was splitty. I'm just not finding that to be true at all. And if you're a newer crocheter and don't understand the whole conversation between hook size and yarn width and yarn size and all that, the smaller the yarn size, the better drape that you're going to have. With a summer top, you don't want to use a big, thick, heavy yarn. And the same with the hook. The smaller the hook, the tighter your stitches are going to be and the more dense your fabric. So I would say the hotter that piece of clothing, that garment is going to be. If you're using a larger hook, you're going to get bigger spaces. It's going to have better drape. It's going to hang better on your body. And there's going to be more space. So that would keep airflow going through. If your goal is to make something that's more appropriate for summertime, Here's the difference. That's the chain I made with the 2.75. And then as it gets much bigger and looser here, that's with the 5mm. Would I buy this yarn again? Most definitely. When I first bought it, I was only looking for this color, and man, it's an exact match to what I was hoping it would be. To me, it looks just like the top that CLA Crochet uses in her social media. The color could not have been more perfect for what I was hoping it would be. That was just spot on. I'm going to look the yarn up on Amazon for you just to give you some more details. K-Tech is what the yarn name is. K-A-T-E-C-H, K-Tech Pure Cotton Yarn. But the K-Tech label was not on the label of the yarn itself. So that's what it is called in Amazon. Like I said, I was only looking for that color, but they have a lot of colors to choose from. The color I chose was one of the lowest price of the colors. So the different colors have different prices. The one I got was just beige. They have berry sunset, black, blue gray, bright red, buttercream, grass, khaki green, lake blue, light gray, light green, light khaki, light lake blue, mauve pink, mustard yellow, navy, nude pink, ocean aurora, orange, pastel multicolor, slate green, soft white, soft yellow, violet. They have a different beige called beige A, blue, light purple, pink, soft white B, and soft yellow C. Those last colors that I just named are showing as sold out. There's a lot of variety. I would love to try that ocean aurora. That looks like a really beautiful color. That looks like mermaid colors. I would like to make my mermaid tail in that. I'm not sure how much it would take. Another negative comment someone made about this yarn was that it was a small skein. Well, of course it is. It's only 50 grams. I didn't find that to be a problem. When I got to the end of a skein, I did the invisible knot and just kept on trucking. So it worked out really good. It just wasn't a problem at all to join those together and keep on going. So that's what I would do. This is the cover of the pattern. Here's what it looks like. And in some of the different colors, you can see that one in the middle was the one I was going for. Just a little side note, I use the app Row Counter for all of my patterns, and it is the coolest little trick. So the icon looks like this. When you click into your row counter, it looks like this. So you can import your patterns. And then when you open your pattern, it comes up like this. There are some ads on there. I think you can buy a different version without the ads, but they don't bother me. So one of the really good features about this app is as you're going through your pattern, so there's the pattern, and as you're finishing a row, you just touch right here, and you're adding your rows so you don't lose track. And if you had to frog, you just hit the subtract button and it takes it right out. So you can go up and down with your rows. So from a distance, and this is in Italian, so you can fit the whole pattern in there. It's really cool. She says that the pattern is a 6-row repeat, but I would say it's really a 4-row repeat because this is your first row. Let's see, it's right here. And it was a chain row, and then you go back and stitch across, and then you go this way. So the first 2 rows, your chain row, and then going back across, and then your 3rd row is where the repeat begins. So you will do row 3, 4, 5, and 6, and after 6, you go back to 3, and you just repeat that all the way through. It's almost like really a 2-row repeat because you're making your row, and then you're making your shell row, and then you're making a chain row, and then a shell row, chain row, shell row. But at the end of the rows, but here you can see you're not finishing with a full shell on each end. Some of the rows will have, well, every other row will be a half shell, full shell, half shell, full shell, half shell. And she gives you detailed instructions on how to finish and start each row. I was not able to commit that to memory. I had to go back and check every time which one I was on, so I didn't make a mistake, and it was no big deal. But it was a more advanced crocheter or someone who's used to making garments, or those kind of repeats, they probably can commit it to memory and not have to go back and look at the pattern. But I kept my pattern out and I kept repeating 3 through 6 on my row counter app so I wouldn't lose track. Keeping track of those rows on the row counter was very helpful for me, and I probably only had to frog maybe, I think I only have one significant frog where I had skipped a stitch and I had to frog it out. Otherwise, it was a very easy pattern to not have that happen, because if you were missing a stitch, it was pretty evident in the pattern. I would have had to have been really, really careless to just go all the way to the end of the row and not realize I had made a mistake. The other thing she does that is super helpful is at the end of every single row, she has a video. There are so many video tutorials in here, and I probably could have made it without the tutorials, but I wanted to get this top right the first time. So I stopped and I went back and watched every tutorial when it came up in the pattern that there was a tutorial available for that. I watched it just to make sure I was not making any major mistakes, and that was very helpful. The mesh stitch comes at the end. You can see that you're going to have mesh stitches across, and then at some point you're going to stop and you're just going to go up on one side and up on the other side. And that was not complicated. Okay, would I make this pattern again? 100%. Would I buy it again? Absolutely. Worth every penny. This lady has done such a fabulous job. Will I be buying more of her patterns? I do see that in my future. So I highly recommend, have no problem doing that. If you get hung up on your pattern and have a question that maybe you can't get answered, you can drop it in the comments, and if I can help at all, I will certainly try to do that. I'm also over on Instagram, so you can send me a message there, and I'm going to get my community tab going soon because I would really love to see what you're making, see if you've been inspired by some of my videos, or feel free to drop your inspiration and inspire me. I would love that. This is a top I think my family and friends are going to be seeing a lot of me in this summer for sure. I hope this pattern review has been really helpful. We appreciate you coming along. If you made it to the end, leave me a sunshine emoji, and remember, my friends, to let your light shine and always stay chic. Bye-bye.